at one point she was the #1 coach in the network, and she was the only coach in 2017, was it, to go 15-star diamond, which makes her a superhero. And she's also currently very pregnant and looks amazing and still crushing it in her business. So we all need to take a listen and take notes on what Ruth is going to share. So with that being said, Ruth, I'll let you take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. And I am very pregnant. I'm like 7 months pregnant, and I haven't been able to breathe since I was like 3 months pregnant. So when I get on these calls, I'm like always huffing and puffing for breath. So I apologize in advance. That is definitely going to happen. If I'm like, time out, I have to breathe. It's just my new normal right now. So I apologize in advance. It's definitely going to happen. But I want to share, I'm going to start by just sharing a little bit of my backstory so you guys know where I'm coming from. And then I want to actually sometimes I think we make this business so stinking complicated. So complicated. And I will tell you, as a leader, I have been on every piece of this roller coaster trying to help my coaches succeed. And so tonight I'm really excited to share with you some tangible tips that I hope will help you wherever you are at, either a veteran who's leading your team, or if you're a new coach, to crush your business in the simplest way possible. Because 2019, is that the year we're in? 2019, my team has been crushing it. We've been crushing it together. And it's because I just went back to making things freaking simple. So I'm going to share that with you. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little bit about who I am. So I grew up in a super small town, 500 people. And I'm just going to tell you some of my limiting beliefs coming into this, because I think belief has a huge piece of our success. So I grew up 500 people, and what I saw as success in my small town was like a teacher. So I thought that was like the pinnacle of what I could do. I could become a teacher, but that was it, because that's all I ever saw in my small town. Anything beyond that was just like too big for me, because I was that small town girl. My parents, literally the hardest working people I know. I praise them. I will say this, I will 100% work in front of my kids. I want them to see me grind. I want them to see me work my tail off. I will have no mom guilt about that. I have been going since I was freaking in kindergarten, first grade. I went with my parents on the weekend. They have a custodial business that they've had for years, and I washed windows as a first grader, and I'll never forget the lessons I learned. And the biggest one, I'll never forget, I was washing a window, and there was like a little streak in it. You know, when you wash windows, you can leave streaks behind. And my dad came up and he's like, "Oh, there's a streak right there." And I was like, "Yeah, but you can't really see it." You know, I'm a first grader. "You can't really see it, Dad. Like, only when you move this way. Like, who's going to notice?" And he said, "But you notice, and I notice, and we know it's there. And we always do the best job possible, no matter who else notices. We always show up and we do the job right, and we do it thoroughly." I have been learning from my parents' work ethic since I was itty bitty. I'm always hesitant to say things about how I'm going to be as a parent, because then who knows, right? What happens when you're a parent. But these are my beliefs right now. Maybe some of you will come back and say, "Remember when you said this, Ruth?" That could be my life in like a year. Who knows? But I really do thank my parents for teaching me this crazy work ethic. However, I have 5 siblings, so there's 6 of us. My parents didn't go to college. And so I have literally also watched my parents struggle for income my entire life. So some of my earliest memories are also worrying about my parents' well-being as a first and second grader as they fought about money in front of me. And I'm sure it wasn't blatantly in front of me, but kids are smart. They can tell when they're stressed. They can tell when they're fighting. And I have honestly, since the time I was a small child, worried about my parents' financial well-being for forever. And so you learn from your parents. So I learned a massive work ethic. I also learned very poor financial planning skills. So I went to college. I became a teacher. I graduated from teaching, got my first teaching job. I thought I had it made. I was going to be so rich as a teacher and have all this money to live. And about 6 months after college, I was standing in my apartment and I got my first Sallie Mae student loan letter, and I just started crying because it was like $600 a month. on a teacher's salary, plus an $800 apartment that I was living in by myself for some stupid reason, plus a car payment. I was like, I can't afford this. Plus I had credit card debt from college. So here I was at 23 years old, and I was on debt collection at 23 years old, right after college, when I thought my life was supposed to be like magical unicorn rainbows. And quickly, what I thought adulting was going to be turned into a nightmare at 23 years old. And I kid you not, for the next 4 or 5 years, my financial situation was like a weight on my chest. I cannot tell you how many times a month I bounced checks. If I wanted to go out, so I was like 24 at this time, 25. If I wanted to go out with my girlfriends on a Friday night, I would have to wait until my check hit the bank. So I'd wait for the ATM at midnight. So I had money to go have a drink with my girlfriends. One summer I worked as a teacher. I also found a guy on Craigslist, and I picked flowers and weeds out of what I would refer to as rich people's homes. That it's funny. Now I'm living in a home like I used to pick weeds out of when I was 25, 26 years old. But I picked weeds. I also worked at a boutique. I also was an aerobics instructor all at the same time one summer. I did anything to get by. And I married my husband, Ben, who is a veterinarian. He was in vet school when we got married. He then went on to do a residency. So he didn't have a paying job for a long time because he was in school. But I always thought in the back of my head, life's going to get better when? Life's going to get better when? We're going to have money when? So fast forward, I actually got my master's degree because I still was living paycheck to paycheck, debt collection. And I thought getting a master's degree was one way to improve my life, transitioning from teaching to corporate education. And Ben then got a residency. So this was the when. The when was finally there for us. It was 2014. Ben was a resident, so he was making a piddly salary, but at least he was making something. I finally had graduated from grad school, and I got like a $17,000 raise, which is awesome. But at the same time, we had $250,000 of student loan debt to pay back. And that is a lot. Plus credit cards, plus cars, and then just life on top of that, like house, all of it. So here was the when had happened, and life wasn't better in 2014, and I flipped out. At the same, I'm a big picture planner. You want me to plan an event? Hell no, I can't do that. You want me to plan tomorrow? I can't do that either. You want me to plan for calls? I don't really do that well either, as you probably are going to find out. But if you want me to plan 5 years ahead, yeah, I'll plan for that. I'm a big picture planner. And so at this point, I knew that we wanted to have kids in the next, this was 2014. And I was thinking in 2 years, 3 years when Ben was going to finish his residency. And I started planning that. And I looked up daycare cost, nursery cost, and I flipped out. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like $1,200, $1,500 for newborn daycare. And it dawned on me that the when I had been waiting for was never going to come. Because then we're going to have kids. And even when Ben did get an upgrade salary, then we were going to have kids. And then all the money was going to go to kids plus all the student loans. And I just was like, this is my forever. My current situation is what I have unless I do something radical. So that's when I fell into Beachbody. And I came into this very insecure as a woman. I have forever considered myself the ugly duckling. With my red hair. Middle school was rough, okay? And so I just considered myself the ugly duckling. I was never the blonde pretty girl that all the boys wanted. I was always second rate in my mind. I was never good enough. I went on to college, and I thought I squeezed my way into a sorority, because here I was not good enough physically, what I thought I needed to look like. My parents didn't have money, so I squeezed in this sorority, and I always just felt second rate. And no confidence in who I was. I found Beachbody, and I had no choice, you guys. My back was against the wall, and I wanted to change my life. And I desperately wanted to change my life. Not because, honestly, it wasn't even because I thought I could earn a full-time income with this. It was literally because my marriage, Ben and I's marriage, was like on the rocks, and it was being crushed between financial strain and my own self-hatred. I hated who I was in 2014. I felt like I wasn't living up to my potential. I felt like I had done all the things I was supposed to do, but here I was hating my career and hating my life and hating my body. And then on top of that, we're struggling financially. And so I did not come into this like, woohoo, I'm here and I'm going to kill it. I came into this like, I'm a small town girl. Like, why would anyone listen to me? I'm the second rate, like, sorority sister. Who would want my opinion? I'm not fit enough for anybody to listen to. Why would anyone want to listen to me? I don't look like all the other top coaches who at the time were blonde. Like, I didn't look like any of those people. And I definitely didn't know anything about social media, and I was terrified of what everyone would think of me, But one thing was true is that I was willing to do the hard work that my parents taught me to do. And so I came into this with a very humble beginning, and I just said, I will do whatever my coach, Jessica Bowser Nelson, she's awesome, whatever she told me to do. I humbled myself and I said, I know nothing. I don't know anything, and I will just do whatever you tell me to do. And I had to draw my line in the sand. And I did it for my marriage, and I also did it for my future children. They were literally just a thought in my imagination. And actually, when I came into this, I was so terrified about my future. I didn't even know if I wanted kids anymore, because how was I going to afford them? And to me, that was like a sticking point. And so my kids weren't even like a real thing yet. And I don't know where you guys are at in your life. If you have kids, if you're thinking about kids, if you do want kids, don't want kids. But I can tell you that I'm so thankful I didn't wait, because I don't know if we would be pregnant right now if it wasn't for Beachbody. So we had an infertility journey. We had to get IVF, and there's no way ever we would have been able to afford that. We would have to borrow money from our parents or put a second mortgage on our home, or we wouldn't even have a home, who knows. But I'm so thankful that, these kids I can't even look at were my driving force. And if you have kids and you can look in their eyes, like, freaking do it for them, and know that you're going to be teaching them how to work hard and dream really big and how to impact a lot of lives in that same process. I didn't have those eyes to look into. It was a fragment of my imagination, and it's truly what drove me. And the thought of my kids was worth more than like what anyone else on social media. I didn't care what they thought, but I did care about my marriage, and I cared about my children's future. And for them, everything was worth it. Posting, showing up, inviting, which is terrifying, right? All the things. So I bring that up because I think it's super important you have your vision and your why in front of you. And you know what it is every single day. And you know why you're going to show up. Why you're maybe going to skip social events. Why you're going to get up at 5 a.m. Why you're going to stay up until 11 p.m. Why you're going to skip your reality TV shows. These are all things I did in the very beginning when I was building my business. We moved 3 times. I never stopped working my business. We traveled. I never stopped working my business when I traveled. Do I regret it? Absolutely not. It is the entire reason we have the life now, and that we're pregnant, and that we can give this life to our children. So you need to know what you are fighting for every single day, and why you're going to scrap your excuses, why you're going to do the things regardless, and why you're going to show up. If you don't have that in front of you and like branded into your head, it's going to be a struggle. But when you visualize it every single day and know what you're fighting for, that's when it gets exciting. Because I had no reason to believe I could be successful whatsoever. And I just had to like visualize this and go for it regardless. So that's kind of my backstory. So if you don't have your vision yet, get it. Because you need it. You need to know what you're fighting for, because some days it's going to suck. Some days it's going to be really, 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 really awesome. And then some days it's going to suck again. And some days it's going to be really, 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 really awesome. And it's funny, Anita was talking about like 2017, and there was moments that I was high as a kite from this business. And I actually hit my lowest low in that same year after all the things happened. And you would think I was supposed to be on top of the world, but that's not how this always works in this business. And so knowing your vision and knowing personal development will always be the thing to help you pull through the rough times is super important. So what is your vision? Okay, before I go on, I want you guys to write out a list. Why do you love coaching? Or what has coaching done for you? Or what has our fitness programs done for you? So you can answer all of the above. I'm going to give you 1 minute. See what I'm doing on time here. So why do you love coaching? How has Beachbody, the programs, or the business changed your life? All right, so I'm going to go into some of the tangible things, but what you guys just wrote down is going to be super important for you to remember. Sometimes we can get lost in this business, whether you're brand new, whether you're a veteran, brand new or a veteran, it doesn't matter. You can lose sight of all these things. And at the end of the day, we come back to what really grounds us about what we love about this business or how these programs have changed our lives. It makes it that much easier to share this with people. Additionally, if you are a veteran coach, this is something, and even if you're a new coach, it doesn't matter, either one. Something that I have started to tell my new coaches to do, and something that I am starting to do, is I'm starting to create a brag book on Microsoft Word. And so anytime a challenger sends me a message or posts in my challenge group, or a coach sends me a message or posts in my challenge group, and they're talking about how the program has changed their life, how Beachbody has changed their life, and putting it into a brag book. So I can go back and look at all these comments and remind myself, this is what we do every day. We're not selling a fitness program. I'm not hooking someone up with Shakeology. I'm helping these people change their life. And so whether you are brand new or a veteran, this is something that I truly recommend. And if you are brand new, you might just be experiencing all of this for the first time. So make a brag book for yourself. Like, today I looked in the mirror and I loved what I saw. Holy crap, we get to give that gift to somebody else. I don't know about you, but like the first time I loved myself, like, oh, I get goosebumps thinking about it. The first time I felt that feeling like, oh my gosh, I am loving the woman I'm becoming, it just made me want to like shout it. And I did shout it from the rooftops. So make a brag book for yourself as you're transforming. If you're brand new and you're just starting your fitness journey, and if you have maybe been in this for a long time, I know from experience, sometimes we get caught up in the day-to-day grind and we lose sight of this. And so holding on to these messages I get from my coaches or from my challengers and having this brag book to look at and be like, oh my gosh, so last week, Katie is telling me she's already lost 11 pounds. And she said, you know, it's the first time ever she stuck to anything for 21 days. And now her dad is joining her and doing it with her. And it's going to be a ripple effect in her entire family. How cool is that? Like, that's what we get to pay forward. That's the intensity of what we get to do. So I want you to know your platform or mission as well. Your vision is what you want to do for your life through the business opportunity. So whether that's pay for your kids' college or vacations or build a new house or give to charities or whatever it is. But your platform, your mission as a coach is equally as important. And if you don't have a foundation of that, you're going to feel like you're selling something. And I don't know about anybody else, but I never want to be a salesperson. But I do have a strong heart to serve others, create impact, that helps women become empowered and strong and capable and bring their own dreams and goals to life. And that's what I believe in. Everyone's mission is different in this business. Some people like are clean eating junkies and that's what they love paying for it, but you have to know what drives you. So what do you love about coaching? Make that brag book. Now, I'm going to tell you literally, some of this is going to be super basic and you've probably heard some of it before. And I have literally just went back to this with my new coaches this year. Last year, I felt like my new coaches were struggling. They weren't doing as well. And they weren't helping as many people as they wanted to. They weren't seeing their business build. And so this year, I just thought to myself, how do I just make it simple? So here's what I tell all of my new coaches. And I'm going to kind of go through that process with everybody because I know some of it I wasn't doing. And when I wasn't doing it, it was hurting my business as well. Number one, being a product of the product. Yes, you haven't heard this before. And I will literally talk about this till my teeth turn blue. I don't even know if that's a saying. I just made it up. But every 7 days. So if you are a brand new coach and you literally, let's say you enrolled today, guess what? You have access already to BOD. You have access to the nutrition plan online, even while your stuff is in the mail. So you can start tomorrow on your program. If you are a veteran, ask yourself what program you are doing. Then go look at your profile and see when the last time you posted your progress pictures is. I am telling you, this is the one thing I give credit to building my business for 2 solid years straight. If people ever came to me to inquire about coaching, and I'm not one of those people who people are rushing in and filling out my application all the time. I'm not one of those coaches. But if they ever did, it's because every Monday I was posting my progress. Day 1 to day 7, day 1 to day 14, day 1 to day 21. I literally finished 21 Day Fix 2 weeks ago. And I did that exact same thing while pregnant. I posted day 1 to day 7, day 1 to day 14, day 1 to day 21. And I'm going to start again this Monday with 21 Day Fix Extreme real time with Autumn. And you'll start seeing me post again my progress. It's not because my progress is blowing anyone's mind right now. Good Lord, I'm getting bigger every week. But it's because it's showing people what's capable, what they're capable of at what stage in life. Your story, you might have 100 pounds to lose. That's totally fine, right? So you're going to share that 100-pound weight loss journey. You might have 5 pounds to lose or 5 pounds to gain, and you're going to share that journey. But I guarantee you, your journey is going to inspire somebody. Some pregnant woman out there right now is watching me, or some woman is going to get pregnant, and she's going to be like, I remember Ruth doing this program. I feel like crap. I'm going to message her about it. And it's funny, don't ever discount where you're at in your journey. People change and people need different things. So I have never, ever honestly been that inspired by mom transformations. I wasn't ever a mom. Now that I'm pregnant, you better believe I am looking at postpartum transformations all the time. I'm creating a photo album for myself for inspiration. People change. So your story is always good enough and somebody is always looking for what you have to offer. It doesn't matter if you have abs. That's not the point. You can have 100 pounds to lose. Somebody wants to see your journey. But if you're not showing it on a weekly basis, then they don't know what's possible. And here's the other thing. How many of you came into this business to lose or gain weight? I came into this business to lose weight. I came into this business for accountability. That's actually my first 2 motivations before anything else. That's how I fell into this. And here's what I thought when I saw it. Oh, this business is kind of easy. You just get good results and you post it. And then someone looks at the hashtag, I looked at hashtags, and they want to join your group. That's literally how easy it is if you're doing it. I swear to you, that is how easy it is if you actually do it. Where people go wrong is they don't share their progress, or guess what? They cheat themselves. Stop cheating yourself on the nutrition plan. Stop. I have a coach right now. She's been a coach forever, for a year. Ultimate Portion Fix came out. And she was like already she was already in great shape. So she didn't think she needed the nutrition plan. Ultimate Portion Fix launches. She's like, okay, I guess for the first time ever, I'm actually going to do the nutrition plan, which makes me want to shake people. And then like now she's posting insane, so passionately. She's like, holy crap. Like, yeah, I had a flat stomach before, but now I have like, she has like an 8-pack now because of one little tweak. She thought she was eating healthy before. She already had a flat stomach. She didn't know it could get better. She does Ultimate Portion Fix, and she's like literally a different coach now because she believes in what she's offering, where before she was cheating herself. And she's like, yeah, I work out. I do the Beachbody workouts, and then I follow my own nutrition plan. Stop doing that. So if you are new, if you are a veteran, check yourself. Are you getting results? Like, get results and share it. And results are different for everybody, right? If I'm doing this pregnant, anybody can do it. Like, anybody. The next thing, pull out, if you are a veteran and you've already done this, pull out your list of contacts or create a new list of contacts to contact. I will be the first person to admit, like, especially last year, I was getting complacent, super complacent in my business. I just wanted people to come to me and to order, which actually doesn't work very well for me at all, unfortunately. So pull out your list and stop waiting for people to come to you, because you are honestly letting a lot of people down. That might sound funny, but whether you are brand new or whether you are a veteran, somebody is watching you out there that's too terrified to message you. They might have, if you're a veteran and you've built a successful business, they now have put you on a pedestal, and they might think she doesn't have time for me, or they might just think, oh, she's too cool for me. She wouldn't want to help me. If you are brand new, then they haven't seen you posting enough yet. They probably just haven't seen that trust or that credibility built. So pull out or create a list of people. And if you are brand new, I'm going to actually promise you this is where it's easier for you. You have an entire warm market of people to connect with, to contact, to reach out to. This is where you have it easier as a new coach. And if you've never invited to the business before like this, congrats, you still have an easy pass. My new coaches are killing it doing this. And here's why they are doing this well. Remember that list I asked you to make? Why do you love coaching? What's it done for you? How has it helped your life? They are inviting and offering from that place, not from, oh, I want to hit Success Club, so I'm going to ask this. I'm trying to get this person. When someone tells me that, I want to like shake them. I got a person. We are not freaking fishing or something. Like we're not getting people. Like, we're helping people. Get your mind right. It's going to feel real dirty if you don't. So my new coaches are making that list and they're reaching out to people. I'm going to show you what I give my coaches, and you guys have like rock stars on this team. So feel free to like scrap what I give you guys. Leslie and Anita, I'm sure, have given you like awesome stuff, but I'm still going to I'll show you what I give my new coaches and how I tell them to have conversations. But you're not going to wait for people to come to you, because people need you to go to them because they're peeing their pants just like you are. But here's the cool thing. When you reach out to people and when you are posting like a badass, because every Monday you're getting awesome results and you're sharing that, when you are doing that, you're building credibility. So when you reach out to these people, you know what they're going to say to you? Even if the answer is no, they're going to be like, I saw that. I'm super proud of you. You're rocking it. It might not be, it's not for me, but thank you. But they're going to pay you a compliment if you're actually doing this stuff right. If you're actually sharing in a way that's impactful and shows them what's possible. They're going to be like, girl, I saw your transformation. That's awesome. I can't do it right now, maybe because X, Y, and Z or whatever they have to tell you, but they're going to compliment you if you're doing it right. So I'm going to show you how I show my coaches how to do this. All right, so I'll pass this on, you guys. Whoop. Oh, did I just start echoing really bad? I'm good, okay. Okay, so this is the combo guide that I give my new coaches. And I think this is the part everyone gets caught up in and that they don't do. And I really do believe this is the difference between people who build a business and don't. I actually have one coach. She made success starters this year. She barely posted on social media. And I was like, how did you do that? And she was like, well, I was inviting behind the scenes. I was reaching out to people. I don't recommend doing that because you need that credibility on the front end, but it just goes to show if you're having conversations, this stuff works. Because how many women out there hate themselves, don't know how to eat healthy, don't know how to eat clean, and they need someone to show them how to do this. I'm trying to figure out how to zoom in on this.
At the bottom.
Oh, where? Oh, thank you. Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you this first, and then I'm just going to go back through. I'm not going to read through this, but I think this is an important piece because this is where all coaches, new or old, get stumped. Even if you're a veteran, I think we get out of practice with this. I think somebody is unmuted. That might be where I'm getting feedback. So if you're brand new, I called my mom and I talked to my close friends. So in this first column right here, you're going to see how like I had a phone call with this was like super warm. My mom, my sister, my friends, my best friends. Then other people, I might send this message to, or I would send this message to them. And I would personalize it based upon who they were. Because again, I knew these people. The next was a warm market. And I want to explain this because this is where I also think people got it wrong. When I was about 14 days into my fitness journey, I was like bursting with joy and I wanted everybody to do it. I was like, I can't believe the results I got in 14 days. I'm actually eating food. I'm not starving myself anymore. Everybody should do this. And so my warm market was anybody I knew. We're talking high school people, college people who I hadn't talked to in 5 years. I'm kind of a blunt in your face type person. So for me, it felt way more natural just to be like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to do it with me? Type of thing, rather than like, hey girl, so you had a new baby, how's it going? And like talk to them about their baby. Like that didn't feel natural to me. I know everyone's a little bit different, but I'd rather just be forthright and to the point with people. And so that's what I did. So you'll see the script here, like you've seen my fun and silly rants about health and fitness. Again, if you're not fun and silly, probably shouldn't say that, make it yours. I'm hosting a virtual fitness and nutrition support group in a few weeks. The results in my current group have been awesome. Are you working towards any health goals right now? And I always start with that. Are you working towards any health goals right now? You'll actually see a few different ones in here, but this is my favorite in regards to, because they'll open up and tell you if they are or if they aren't and why they aren't or why they are. And then from there, I'll show you the rest of the script in a minute and how we move on from that. Then when you're posting and rocking it out, you should be adding on to your list of people who's liking your post, who's watching your Insta stories, who's responding to your Insta polls that aren't coaches. And that does take a little bit of time to build. So adding that to your list. And then there's a script on how to contact that person as well. To me, this is easy. Like that's your easy contact. They're liking it. They're interested. You better ask them. And then if someone were to message you for information, there's a script for that as well. Then again, this is always, you're going to see red here, people over products, always. It is always about talking to that person first. If they say to you, like, I hate what I see in the mirror and none of my jeans fit. So a little bit more about my program and accountability group. Like, no, it's not awesome. They just told you they hate themselves and none of their pants fit. Empathize. Tell them that you've been there. Tell them that you understand. Tell them, additionally, that they don't have to stay there and they have the power to change and that you want to help them do it and that they're capable and that you're going to help them find time and that you're going to hook them up with the right thing. So I have seen it before where people like just like ignore what the person says and go right into this like thing. And I'm like, oh my Lord, people over products always. You are first their cheerleader, their pump me up person. Then you can talk to them about what we have to offer. And actually, I think I took this from Anita. This is from Anita's script like 4 years ago, actually. So I don't know where Anita got it from. I'm actually like looking at it right now. I'm like, actually, this part is Anita's. So you'll see here, like this is how I give them a bit of information in the beginning. Then I ask more about them, because the deeper relationship I can build with them and get to know them better, the more I can help them. So I ask about their eating habits. I also ask about their biggest challenges, which to me is super important, because then I can tell them how I'm going to help them overcome their challenges. So I want to identify, oh, they travel. Oh, they have kids. Oh, they have a lot of cravings. I want them to tell me their challenges. So then I can be like, girl, I was the biggest sugaraholic ever. But here's the cool thing. Number one, on this nutrition plan, it's flexible. We can have treats. Number two, when you fuel your body like this, your cravings are going to be non-existent. When you're drinking Shakeology every day, you're going to see a dramatic decrease in your cravings. So I want them to tell me their challenge so I can tell them how I'm going to fix it. What I typically see coaches do, my new coaches do this all the time. And I've literally just started being like, wait, why are you making things up for yourself? Where is my script that I gave you? Use it. But they will have this roundabout conversation with people, and they're talking everything, but they're not getting to the point. So nobody knows that they're a coach, because they're just like going round and round, and they're like, oh, cool. What are you doing? Oh, that sounds like fun. I work out at home. Have you ever thought about working out at home? Oh yeah. I also do this thing maybe called Beachbody that you should think about. And like, no one knows what they're offering, because they're like being fearful. They're not following a script that works, and they're trying to make their own way. Don't make your own way. That was one of the first things I promise you. This script, I've used something similar to this from the very beginning. And I will tell you, the first time I saw it, where it says ask their goals first, I called my coach, Jessica, and I said, you do not actually do this, do you? She's like, yeah, I do. And I was like, crap. I wanted her to tell me no, because I thought it felt funny. I thought it felt weird. I thought it felt very unnatural, and I didn't want to do it. But what I've learned is that asking their goals, asking about their challenges, how are you going to help somebody if you don't know those things? You can't. So this is a very critical piece of getting to know your challenger and how you can help them. So then from here, again, I respond to their personal challenges, and I tell them how we're going to help them through it based upon our programs, our nutrition, our Shakeology, our accountability groups. You're going to hear fall off the wagon all the time. And then I don't break down. I do it two ways, actually. One, I send a video. So this isn't going to work for you if you click on it, because it doesn't work. But it's the All Access Beachbody On Demand Challenge Pack video from the back office. So I send that video from the back office, or I will send a graphic if you have a team graphic of the different challenge packs, or I'll send a graphic of the challenge packs that explains the pricing. I am not explaining the pricing, because that's where I also see coaches botch it. Okay. So I either send the video that says the price, or I send, if your team uses a graphic of like the 3 different package options or whatever it is, I send that. And you can see how I relate it back to like a personal trainer class membership. So I'm talking up the value there. And then again, this is another thing I see my new coaches do, and a lot of coaches do. They'll start talking about programs with their challengers. And I'm like, we don't need to talk about any program ever until they have enrolled. I don't have that conversation. They're getting all access to BOD 100% every time. And so I don't need to go into 21 Day Fix. I don't need to go into PIO. I don't need to tell them about Hammer and Chisel until they've enrolled. I'm like, why are you talking to people about 21 Day Fix? Like, they're getting this package, and then you can talk to them about it after the fact. So keep it simple. Keep it super, super simple. Then I always create urgency. I have 2 spots left in my group. Are you ready to grab your spot? You have to ask this question. Okay? Always, always, always. If you don't, you're leaving your people hanging, and they're like, well, what do I do now? Have you ever done that? Like when you're ready to buy something, and then someone doesn't like follow up and say like, are you ready to do it? And you're like, okay, well, what do I do? How do I check out? How do I get this? It's really awkward. Don't be that person. Ask them, Are you ready to grab your spot? I've got 2 spots. We start on Monday. Let's go. The other thing, crucial in this, urgency is everything. And if you're not closing deals, it might be because you're missing what I just said about want to grab your spot and asking for the sale. Or it could come down to this. So once I always send share a cart. So you want to grab your spots. Perfect. I ask them what do they want for email? What kind of Shakeology? Then they tell me. I always send them the share cart link in whatever way we are talking. So whether that's email, Instagram, Facebook, okay? So I copy that share cart link from it, and I actually always send this message, okay, I got you set up. Let me know if you have any questions. I say, this will take 5 minutes, so they know it's fast. Will you be able to enroll now? If so, I'll add you to the group as soon as you do to make sure your spot is reserved. Send the link so they can order. I never, ever let them just like get the email and hope they check their email and hope they go click on the email. I am sending this to them, and then I am following up within 24 hours. Especially if we got to this part, I sent them the link, then I'm definitely checking up with them within 24 hours. That is it. It's so simple. Super, 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 super simple. Like, don't overcomplicate any of the process. You get results first. You share it on social media. Not first, but like as you go. 7 days, you have results. In 7 days, you can have killer results. Go. Go, go, go. Post your before photos. Say, who wants to do this with me? And then you have a guide, and you can throw this one in the trash if you guys have a better one. I'm not offended. But use whatever your upline has given you and use that urgency. And I'll just close really quick. These are things that I see everybody, make it about the people first. Again, always people before products. Don't spew onto them what you have until you get to know them. When you send an open invite, so I showed you the 5 examples in the beginning. If you have one that you use and you're using one right now that's like 5 paragraphs long, and it's like, I have a challenge group starting on Monday, and you get a nutrition plan, and you get 12 months access to BOD, and you get Shakeology, and you're going to have an app to track all your stuff in, and that's your opening invite. You're vomiting a bunch of stuff on them that they don't want on them. And I don't know if you've ever been vomited on, but like nobody wants that. It's gross. So keep it short in your initial invite. All you need to ask is like, hey, I have an online health group starting. Do you have any goals? You want to learn more about it? That is it. So don't just word vomit like a ton of stuff on them in the beginning. You are their coach from the get-go, even if they say no. So make sure you're being enthusiastic. Make sure you end every single message with a question mark. If you are not, the conversation dies, and it's your fault. And so if you're like, oh, they didn't respond. Well, did you give them a message to respond to? That is the question. Make sure you're always creating that urgency with how many spots you have in the group, when it starts, if there's a sale going on, and always, 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 always follow up with your people. Okay. Do I have any questions?
Okay, so we have a question from Candace. Just wants to know if we could, or if you could send this to either me or Leslie. She says that flow charts speak to the ex-teacher in me. And then Megan Manley asks, can you share all this information chart somewhere for us? Yes. Okay. And then what about nutrition programs, UPF, 2B? Do you have a way to work those in?
Honestly, I don't. So honestly, for my first 2 years of this business, I sold 21-day fix for 2 solid years. And sometimes I think too many options can get super confusing. So I personally have not worked those in. I'm also a massive, massive believer in the containers. So that might be one reason why as well. But I honestly don't. I keep it super simple with all access BOD. I always, even now, I always include the containers, even though it's changed. And I guess I should say on the chart, so if I send them the visual of the package options, one of the package options does have UPF on it. So that is a package option there that I use. But I don't heavily push it and say like, oh, we have this nutrition program, unless they tell me specifically something that makes me think, okay, they need UPF. This person is ideal for UPF or 2B mindset. Otherwise, I keep it pretty simple there.
This may seem silly, but do you think it's okay to focus on building your business with just customers rather than building a team?
I think, well, first, I think it's a question for you and what you want out of this business. What kind of business do you want? How quickly do you want it to grow? Where do you want to take it? How much residual income do you want to make from it? So based upon that, you have to decide what's right for you. But in the beginning, when I started, I enrolled a lot of customers. But once they got to week 2 of my challenge group, I invited them to be a coach. So it was a customer to coach automatically. That was the next step for me. So it actually was never either or. Now I invite a ton to the coaching just right off the bat. But in the beginning, when I was more customer focused with my invites, I was still building a team, because once we got 2 weeks into their challenge, they got an invite to coaching no matter what. So you can actually do both. One just has like a 2-week lag, I would say.
I agree. All right. Any other questions? Okay. If any do come up, I'll send them your way.
Okay, cool. And I'll send you this guide.
That'd be amazing. Thank you so much. I loved how it flowed, and yes, it's awesome. So thank you so much. That's so much information. And yeah, I'm super excited to go back through this, and I know that we are all very appreciative of you. So, and then I hope you get some rest tonight and get your breathing back.
Yeah, someday. Someday all that might happen.
It's so funny because baby comes out and you're back to breathing normal. You're like, oh, I forgot.
That'll be nice.
Yep. All right, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you next week. Again, Ruth, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys.
Yes, thank you. Night.